Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. I think that's what day it is. I think I've said that every morning. But that's just where I'm at in my life right now. Tell me good morning if you're just popping on. Morning, Danielle. I feel like you're on every morning. I love it. Morning, Jamie. Morning, Jessica. Say good morning to me. If you're just popping on, if you're watching the replay, let me know. I'll get started as soon as I turn on. Oh, good. I never get to turn on this road like right away like this. All right, y'all. Good morning. Morning, Taylor. Okay. So, I wanted to come on this morning and talk to you guys about behaving like a boss, doing the work. And I wanted to go ahead and apologize to y'all about having to cancel or reschedule our Zoom last night. And I know that you've heard me say bosses don't cancel. Well, this was like one of the exceptions to where it's okay to cancel. My poor baby had 105 fever, and there was just no way that I could step away from him because he needed his mama. My husband has taken off today to go take him to the doctor because today is my last full day of the school year with kids. I still have to go to work for like almost 2 weeks. It's so stupid. But anyway, so I appreciate y'all being understanding. I am going to get with Chloe and we will reschedule ASAP. I am so sorry for that. So I wanted to come on here and talk about behaving like a boss and doing the work. Okay. So number one, normally bosses don't cancel, and I'm going to talk about that. But the first thing when it comes, oh gosh, tornadoes. I hope you guys are okay. Yeah, guys, you always have to put family first. And I really hated to have to do that, but I needed to take care of him. And my other child was being a no limits, no sleep soldier. So it was actually it was a good thing. It was a God thing. He knew I needed to take that time. So I'm going to reschedule. Anyway. Okay. So behaving like a boss, productivity. You have seen the tip for today, and it's talking about the power hour. And I 100% believe in the power hour. I do not believe that this business should take up a ton of your time. Meaning if you're spending 4 and 5 hours a day on your business, you're doing something wrong. Being productive in this business means doing less, doing it effectively, and doing those income producing things. Now, of course, if you have put a bunch of things off, then yes, you may need to go and sit and do a bunch of work for one day, but you can get your work done in very quick spurts. So being productive, obviously income producing activities, but I want to talk to you about something that I feel like as women, most of us are women that are on here listening to this, that we are not very good at this. And I know I can say that from personal experience. The number one thing that always goes out the window when it comes to behaving like a boss and doing the work is we are so quick to cancel on ourselves when it comes to self-care. Raise your hand if that's you. If that's the first thing that you will throw out the window because you have a bunch of other things to do, is taking care of you. So if that's you, raise your hand, because I know for me, that was one thing that I really struggled with, and that I still sort of struggle with because you feel guilty for taking care of yourself. I really hope I'm not the only one that throws out self-care. And what I mean by self-care is working out or praying or meditating or taking time to go to the spa or whatever. So I feel like a lot of us, good, I've at least got one hand. I feel like a lot of us will put ourselves on the back burner just to get the other things done that we need to get done. And I'm going to tell you right now that that is the worst thing that you can do for yourself and for your business, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? You cannot pour from an empty cup. Do not torture your number one employee, which is you. You are your own boss. You are your number one employee. So do not torture yourself by not taking time for you and not taking care of yourself. So what that looks like for me. What that looks like for me is I have scheduled my workouts. I put me on my calendar first. Meaning, and I know you guys are going to think I'm insane, I do not schedule coaching calls right after I get off work on days that the weather's good. I don't do it. I look at the weather before I schedule my coaching calls. And I know that a lot of people are going to think that's insane. But if I don't go run or work out most days right when I get done with my day job, I don't get it done just because of the way that my husband's schedule is and how difficult my 1-year-old is being right now. I just can't go get it done, right? Unless I'm doing it after they go to sleep. And if I do it after they go to sleep, then I'm not doing the things for my business that I need to do because I'm working my day job, right? So I schedule my workouts first and I don't cancel on myself. So if you guys follow me on Facebook or whatever, you probably saw my post from Monday where I went running and the weather looked okay. The weatherman said nothing was going to happen and then I got soaked. But I didn't cancel on myself and I felt so much better after that, and then I could go work my business. Another thing that I do to 100% take care of myself is I go and get dermaplaning once a month. And that was something that I put into my Scentsy budget. I know that that money is already accounted for and I do it once a month without fail, period. And usually when I get paid with Scentsy, I go get a mani-pedi. So I take care of myself. Also on Saturday mornings, my husband and I flip-flop, so like every other Saturday, I get to sleep in and or go in my office and do what I need to do. And on the other Saturdays, he goes and works outside and does the things that he needs to do. And that's something that I want you guys to realize, that you have to take care of yourself first. And if you're not doing that, you have got to, because eventually you're going to get burnout. If it's not working out for you, find whatever it is that's going to make you feel better. Sometimes for me, I'm a big introvert, so I get more energy and I feel more refreshed by having complete silence. Not with music in the background, not with people in the background. Like, put yourself first and figure out what it is that's going to make you feel better. If you have never tried working out, I'm just going to tell you right now that all of the successful people in this world drink all their water every day, and they do some type of exercise. You don't have to go and run 5 miles, but you could go walk and get outside for 30 minutes. You could do something. So if you've never tried that, I'm really going to encourage you to, because I promise, even though it doesn't feel good at first, you're going to eventually feel good. Regardless, self-care is number one. You have to take care of you first. And that's when it comes down to productivity. A lot of times you don't want to do something because you are empty, and you've got to figure out a way to do that. Bailey says she's putting her workouts and date nights. Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Friday nights are our date night, unless we have like a special event. We have a friend's wedding coming up in June that's on Saturday, so we've switched our date night to a Saturday night for things of that nature. But everybody, all my friends know, my customers know, my team knows, date nights are non-negotiable. You've got to put those things down and hold those appointments to yourself. Even if they're not a date night, if it's a ladies' night, whatever, you got to put those things in your calendar. Do those things first. Good morning, Stacy. Holding yourself accountable and self-care is number one. The second thing that I'm going to say is, how many of us know that you need to post on your team page, your VIP page, your leader page, your regular page, all the pages? Raise your hand if sometimes you get busy, and I don't like that word, but you get wrapped up in the day and you forget to post. Raise your hand if that's you. Or, I mean, basically we just get sidetracked because we've got a million other things going on, and that's just not something that probably pops in your head that you just need to do, unless it's become a habit. For me, it's become such a habit that I do it anyway. It's like muscle memory. But if that's you, definitely raise your hand, because Courtney Dawn, who pops on here, I don't know if she's on here right now, Courtney, we were just like having a conversation, and she's like, Chastity, get it together and do this. And I'm like, oh my God, why have I not been doing that? So now, I plan my week on Sundays. So like, obviously I already have my planner like planned, but then I go in and I'm very specific on Sundays about what I'm going to do for the week. And I set my like weekly goals of other things that aren't on my habit trackers. Well, now what I've started to do on Sunday nights is I go and schedule posts for all the places. I schedule them on my team page. I schedule it on my leaders page. I schedule it on my VIP page. And I just now started scheduling Instagram, because that is something that I really, really, really want to be more intentional with, is Instagram. And with Facebook groups, you can just go and schedule it. That's exactly why Build It Big has been posting at 7 a.m. every morning. Not because I've got it all together, because I promise you, if you even knew what my life was like yesterday, Stacy does, you would understand, like, I don't have it together. But I have went and I have scheduled those things so that it's running efficiently without me having to remember to go do it at 7 a.m. I have done the exact same thing for all of the other pages, because I know that it's something I need to do. I know that it's going to bring value to my life, my team, my customers, etc. But I also know that when I wake up in the mornings and I get my day rolling, I've got a million things going on. And right now, testing is going on at school, and they've blocked Facebook. So like, I can't even be on my computer, and well, I can be on my computer, but I can't be like on Facebook on my computer because they've blocked it. And I'm just telling you right now that scheduling your posts is so important. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't go post on my team page when other things come up or I see other things or whatever. I 100% do that. But I know that if you are not engaging on your team page every single day, you cannot expect your team to do that. So a lot of times people say, well, my team page is crickets. Well, your team page is crickets because you're not being consistent. Like, you are not being consistent in posting in your team page. My people know I'm going to post in my team page every single day. Even if my kid's sick, I'm posting. Like, not because I'm just like that much of a workaholic, but because I've scheduled it. You have to schedule your posts, okay? You have to schedule your posts, or you have to be more intentional. If you, like, just be more intentional. So I am not an Instagram queen, Natasha. I can talk to you guys about what I know, but I will say that I just downloaded Buffer, and it can link to Instagram. It doesn't go automatically the way that Facebook does. You still have to give it permission to go and post, which is sort of annoying. So I'm going to try and look into some other like scheduling apps for Instagram, but that's something that's really helped me be more intentional, because I'd go back and I would see, sorry about cussed. Oh gosh, I didn't post on Instagram for the last week because I've just been busy. So I'm not using that as an excuse anymore. I'm scheduling. Another thing for productivity is ask for help. Guys, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask your husband or your friend or a college neighbor or a high school kid that's getting out. It's okay, out for summer. It's okay to ask them for help. My husband now does almost all of my sampling. He does my stamps.com. He does a lot of things for me. And it's not because he feels like he has to. I mean, he wants to be on my business account or on my name with Scentsy, and I told him that he's going to earn his keep. But he knows that he is benefiting from this business, and so he is helping me do that. Now, yes, I had to ask, because husbands and boyfriends or whatever, they don't always know what you need, and they feel like that you don't need anything if you don't ask. And I know that's a big thing with women, is like, we want to get it all done and we want to do it our way, and we feel like we could just get it done more we could get it done faster and quicker, absolutely. My husband takes double the time it takes me to make some samples because that's just how his brain works. But you know what? I've trained him to do it. I've showed him how I want it done, and I don't have to do that anymore. Yes, sometimes I've got to make some samples, but we bulk sample one time a month, and I give him all the things that need to be done, and it may take him a few days, but that takes that off of me, like 100%. And when it comes to my mail outs, he stuffs my mail outs sometimes. If not, I have a little bin, and we have a system at home where he knows he needs to go and do that. And it's not me being like his boss, but he benefits from this business. So you've got to ask for help when it comes to things that they can do. No, he can't go and book parties. No, he can't go and recruit for me. He tried, and he is in permanent timeout from having any type of recruiting conversation with people. I've literally had to give him a script of what to say to them and give them and get their information so that I can talk to them, because he tried really hard, but he said the worst thing ever to a potential recruit. So he's in permanent timeout for that. But they can do things, even if it's your kids. Guys, I don't put labels on my bars and stuff anymore unless I'm just in a rush. I take that time, and it's for me and Mason. And I'll sit at my computer doing things, and he's labeling stuff, and we're talking about Scentsy, and like, I've made it a family affair. And yes, sometimes I give Chase money. Like, I literally will give him like an extra $100. And I know that sounds like really crazy, but Fifi Fitzgerald told me that, like, if your husband or your spouse or somebody is helping you, give them some compensation. I know my husband is a real big, his love language is physical touch, so I really don't have to pay him. I mean, everybody knows what a husband that's physical touch wants. I can do those things and get it done, and they're happy to do it. So ask for help. Another thing when it comes to asking for help is my kids are still going. He does need a recruiting training, Stacy. I've literally just given him something to save in his notes to give to somebody until I have time to really train him on that. So absolutely, with the best customer service. And my people know that Mason's helping me bag stuff. He's labeling stuff. Like, put your kids to work. They will enjoy it. Yes, I'm riding solo today. Mason is at home. So another thing when it comes to asking for help and delegating, that can also be for your team page. You have up and coming leaders. Encourage them and empower them to go post on the team page daily. Give them jobs. There's another leader who give someone the job of being a cheerleader for that month. So it is their job, or like a spirit squad, and you give them that job of welcoming people to the team and congratulating people and empowering them to do those things. And another thing with asking for help, my kids are still going to summer care this summer. Number one, because I can't pull my baby out of daycare, she loses her spot, but also because I need that time to continue to work my business and not like be stuck in that. Stay-at-home moms, you guys are the real MVP that do all these things with your kids. I have a really hard time with that, and my kids are very, very needy right now, and so they're still going to go and do that, and it's going to be okay, and it's a business write-off. It is a business write-off for me to keep them in summer care this summer, for them to go be social, go do all the things, and be independent without me while I can still run my business. Am I going to send them every day? No. Does that make me a bad mom for being off for the summer and still sending them to summer care? Hell no. And I had a hard time. I still have a hard time with that. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to feel guilty. But you know what? I'm not being a bad mom by putting him or taking my kids to be social. I'm not being a bad mom. I'm taking care of me first, and then my kids, or then my marriage, and then my kids. And guys, you've just got to remember that and get off the guilt squad. Last thing when it comes to asking for help, I ain't got time to clean my house. I paid somebody to be a housekeeper. Girl, it's work in your business. That's a write-off. Like, my kids are going to care so that I can take care of my business. So if you're a stay-at-home mom and you go and have a babysitter for a few hours so that you can work your business, you're working your business. That's a tax write-off. Like, as long as you can justify it and you don't have a crazy tax person, my tax person says it's okay. I'm using it for my business. Okay. Asking for help I get my house cleaned once a month because I don't have time to be cleaning toilets, and that's not income producing for me, and I've put that in my Scentsy budget. So it's okay. It's okay. I gotta hurry up and get done. Yesterday, I had to leave work, and I've had a lot on my plate in my business with this program, with all the things I have going on, and I was feeling very overwhelmed before, but you know what? God knew. I'm not saying God made my kids sick so that I had to go home, but God knew that I needed a day at home where I didn't have the baby, where I didn't have my husband, where I just had me and Mason, where number one, we could spend some time together, and number two, where I could just like get my shit together in my office. And I spent the entire day pretty much just getting my life together with little crazy things that I needed to get done that weren't necessarily income producing, that I would feel bad for doing because they just weren't things on the top of my priority list. But yesterday, I literally turned my phone on Do Not Disturb while Mason was taking a nap and spent a couple hours in my office, and I feel so much better. So sometimes you may, if you work a 9-to-5 job, you may have to take a day and just get your life together for a day and then be more productive from then on out. It's okay. I'm not telling you to go call in sick and get fired from your day job, but you know what? I needed yesterday. I needed it. My brain needed it. My office needed it. My life needed it. All the things. Okay. So do not feel guilty for taking time to get your life together and make it a priority. I needed to do that so now I can be productive and not have all of the other things that I have going on to do that. So if you have to take a day from your 9-to-5 where your kids aren't at home or whatever, then freaking do it. And Bailey, I love that you've asked her to keep him once a week, because you've just got to do it. It's okay to have your kids out of your hair, or whoever out of your hair for a little bit to get things done. Another thing is setting a timer. I know, Steffi, I look up to you so freaking much. You have no idea. Just popped on here, and she has talked about this, and she's done a training on Power Hour and stuff too. Set a timer. Even if you don't feel like doing something, set a timer for 15 minutes, turn your phone on Do Not Disturb, get off social media, and get to work for 15 minutes. Because a lot of times, just sitting down, getting to work, and not being distracted, you'll end up wanting to work for longer than 15 minutes because you have actually just like started to do it. The hardest part a lot of times is just getting out of your own head and getting to do the work, doing the work instead of just feeling bad for yourself. Creating a trigger. For me, a trigger to go do my workout is getting off work. Like getting off work, I know I need to go and do that. Another trigger for me, walking into work and setting up my computer. I literally, as soon as I get into work, well, I've been getting into work earlier before I started this program, I would check numbers, and I would just check the news tab on my workstation, anything that I'd missed from the night before. That is my trigger. I literally do that every single day, and it's created a habit. You've got to start small. So if your trigger is walking into your office, whatever it is that you do, if you haven't listened to Atomic Habits by James Clear, I am going to encourage you to do that. It's kind of dry. I'm still not all the way through it just because his voice isn't that engaging to me, but he is a speaker at SFR. So, that is another thing that really, encouraged me to create these systems. So start listening to that, and your habits are really going to define you. Get out of your own head. Okay. And so for the last thing, okay, so I'm going to just go back over. Take care of yourself. Schedule your appointments and don't cancel. Put those income producing things down, put the self-care things down, date nights, etc. If you need to take a day and get your life together, then freaking do it. Set a timer for 15 minutes and get to work. I actually saw Kristen Ingalls do this yesterday. I saw it on her story. She set an alarm at noon and it said, carbs make you bloated, do better, or something. You can do that. If you need that, then do it. I have to tell Siri to remind me when I get home to do things all the time. I just say, hey Siri, and it tells me whatever. And it's because I know I'm going to forget. My husband forgot to give my kid medicine yesterday when I literally set an alarm in his phone for him to go give him medicine when it had been 4 hours. He turned the alarm off and didn't do it. So you know what I did today before I left for work? I went on my son's iPad and I set a timer that said, make daddy give you medicine, so that now he's not going to be able to forget, because that's how men are. I literally could have cut him. Sorry, I had to vent for a second. But I literally went and set a timer on my kid's iPad so that he has to make sure to give him Motrin or Tylenol. If that's what you have to do, then do it, because eventually it's going to become a habit. And I do that for myself all the time. If you need to remind yourself to do mail outs, then frickin' put a reminder in your phone and do it. Don't cancel on yourself. Do the hard things first when you have the most energy and get it done. Last thing I'm going to say before I go into work. Chloe and I, absolutely, Amber. And I mean, habits make you or break you. So good habits, bad habits, doesn't matter what they are. Everybody has habits, and they're either helping you or hurting you. You got to make the decision. Okay, last thing. Chloe and I can come on here and preach to you every single day. We can tell you to listen to podcasts. We can tell you to listen to James Clear. We can tell you to tune in. But guys, we cannot do the work for you. We can give you pointers. We can try and help make you a better person, but we cannot motivate you. You cannot create motivation. Motivation comes from within. So if you're not motivated, you've got to figure out what's going to motivate you, because ain't nobody else going to go do your push-ups for you. Ain't nobody else going to go and do your income producing activities. You are the only one that can change your life. You are the only one that can be a boss. You are the only one that can go and do Power Hour. Yes, you can go and delegate some tasks, but you still have to go and delegate them. You still have to go and ask for help. You still have to wake up every morning and do it. So my thing is, people ask me, well, how do you get all the things done? Or how do you have time to do this? I just effing do it. I just freaking get it done. And that's all I can say. And it just drives me insane when people say that they don't have time or they need motivation. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it about you don't have time. It's not a priority if you're not doing it. And I'm like spitting, sorry. It's not a priority if you're not doing it. I can't motivate you. Find something that's gonna motivate you. I don't care if you have to go get a tattoo on your arm that says move. Chloe has a tattoo on her arm that says move, and she got it at a time in her life when she needed that reminder. I have this M on my wrist that I got in the middle of the worst time of my life, so that every single time that I looked down and I wanted to feel sorry for myself and I wanted to quit and I wanted to give up, I looked at this freaking M and I got the hell up and I moved. Even when I couldn't hardly pick my head up off a pillow because I was so depressed from all the things that were going on, I got a freaking tattoo on my arm that said M. So every time I looked down, I saw Mason, or I thought of Mason, and I knew he was the reason I was up that morning. He is the reason I was alive, and he was the reason that I was going to keep freaking moving. And you've just got to put your big girl panties on, lace up those freaking shoes, put your head down, turn on some gangster rap and get it the hell done. And I don't know what else to say besides find something that's going to motivate you to get it done. You cannot be a boss and make an excuse at the same time. Period. You can't do it. You can't do it. You cannot be a boss and make all of the excuses about why you're not doing all the things at the same time. I'm sorry. You just can't. So find yourself an accountability partner that's literally going to say, Chastity, I know you had a shit day. You can feel bad for a little bit, but then you need to go get it together. And it is what it is. Vent for a minute and let it go. And freaking move. And you know what? Not being where you want is motivation enough. Amen, sister. Freaking men, because I'm not where I want to be yet, and I'm not going to stop. And I literally could have woke up today because things were still going wrong. I could have woken up today and decided this was going to be a bad day and let it ruin it because of some other things that were happening at home this morning. But you know what I told Chloe this morning when her and I were talking? You know what? I'm not going to let that ruin my day. I'm going to take control because I'm the only person that can make me happy. I'm the only person that can get up and do the work. And my future self is going to thank me for that. So have a good Thursday. Make some boss moves today. Sell all the PRV. Close out your month strong so that you can have a bomb-ass paycheck and you can build it big. Y'all have a good day.